This is not the world of my making or even choosing, but it is the world unto which I was born to find God. That's what we're here for, to awaken and find the presence, the divine within each one of us. And relationships are a perfect path and tool for doing just that. It's this amazing, huge energy, essence that we come from, gets squeezed in through the family matrix, out into the world of pain, pleasure, gain, and loss, people, individuals, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, co-workers, and finds itself on the path of the journey to awakening to the sacred and the beloved within all people, all beings, everywhere. Every relationship, each lifetime in every relationship, is an opportunity to awaken to that truth in us. We're following the sacred path of healing in all of our relationships. And it does involve a fire on the left and the lovely stream on the right. Most people go into a relationship with someone else with flesh on because of the beautiful waters and pleasures of being with another human being with flesh on. Yes? We enter into it for that reason. And then we find ourselves after a few moments, oh, the head pops up in the fire. And we get burned. Ouchie, ouchie, what is this? I didn't want this. I wanted the pleasure. I didn't want the pain. The voice in the fire says, I am not fire. I am fountainhead. Come unto me, and don't you mind the sparks of a hot fire relationship. It's not failing when it gets difficult and you feel like you're burning. It's just beginning. It's moving you to have 1,000 sets of moth wings to go into it and get to the light beyond it. When I met this beautiful Maureen Levy, 22 years old, I had my binoculars on and I was checking her out by the pool. You notice I'm still checking her out 40 years later. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, whoa, it was not love at first sight. It was lust at first sight. And I was drawn, I was drawn to be with her. I wanted to be with her. And so we dove into the waters of pleasure with each other, thinking that's the way it would always be. But then one morning, her head popped up in the fire. Ouch! Differences. Ooh, you. Who are you? And luckily, right across the street was the Science of Mind Church at Mill Lake Apartments. And we walked into the teachings. We needed a roadmap to how to navigate. Getting beyond pleasure, pain, loss, and gain, it's really all the same. And a whole bunch of us from that time went across the street to enter into the stream of the teachings of Yogananda, of Science of Mind, of unity, and all the great thinkers and teachers. We had tools to help us awaken our practice of not only enjoying the pleasures of life, but also not being afraid to face the pain of it as well. We'd been through enough of the waters of pleasure, even at the ripe young age of 22, to get that, is this all there is? There must be more. And of course then the beloved Spirit says, yes, there is more. There is more. We need tools when the hot, fiery things come up in our relationship with others. And these teachings and these practices allow us to have that to fall back upon when stuff comes up that's difficult and we don't know what to do with it. In our book, The Healing Sacred Path of Relationship, One Soul, One Love, One Heart, we are offered the 5 hindrances as the things that we throw into the fire for awakening. A couple of days ago, last Sunday and Wednesday, we talked about hatred and ill will, lust and greed. They're more obvious energies, you know when you're in that. But the ones that come up next, the next 3 are agitation, sloth, and torpor, and doubt. They're a little more subtle to see sometimes. Agitation, which I'll talk about today, is a good one. We felt a kind of something not right with our life the way it was, the way we'd experienced it from our parents that we came from. And so it drove us into the practices of yoga and meditation and prayer and Course in Miracles and Oneness Blessings and all the stuff we're doing to shift our consciousness. The agitation was a stirring. There must be more to life than what we're experiencing now. And thank God we know that there is. But we need these practices to help us not just continually jump over the fence to stay in the waters of pleasure. Because then we're going to end up with our head popping up in the fire of a situation with a child, with a lover, with someone who dies unexpectedly. The difficult things that throw us into the fire is when we need our teachings most. To burn 1,000 set of moths' wings, one set at a time, will require a great vigilance and willingness to keep moving forward. It's real easy to read all of this stuff in a book. Oh, I read the book in 2 days. What are we doing next? Someone said to me, I'm through with it. I read the whole thing. I remember when someone told me, you'll love this. They said, A Course in Miracles is too long. I'm not doing it for a year. They finished the 365 lessons in 2 weeks. This woman said, I'm done. What do I do next? You're not done. You haven't even started yet. You're still in Genesis. You know what I'm saying? Beginning again and again and again and again. And entering into the subtlety of when you face the heat, not running away from it because it's showing you something you don't want to see. That's why these teachings are disturbing to your ego. I hope you're disturbed a lot by what we teach here. You need to be. I need to be. It isn't easy, this stuff. That's why we don't have 15,000 people on a Sunday. There aren't 15,000 people that want to do this. They want to hear somebody else is the problem, and that they're all going to that bad place when they die, and we're going to the good one because of what we believe in. When we enter into the fire of a good, hot relationship with anyone with flesh on and they push our buttons, they're exactly the teacher or the teaching we need in this moment to help us take our next step in our evolution. That agitation often manifests itself in our culture as a not wanting to face what's going on inside of ourselves. We get agitated and we look for pleasurable ways to stay out of owning that inside of ourselves. He says, you know, collectively it's the craziness of the world that we live in right now. How the speed, the pace of which we run on is a total projection of the monkey mind. It always wants to be busy doing something next. Not what it's doing, but be busy doing something next. He tells this beautiful example about being in a restaurant. He's watching these 4 women who are getting together to have a celebration of the birthday of one of the women there. And all of them were sitting with their iPods and their iPhones, pushing buttons, not even talking to each other. In fact, when the birthday cake came, it was difficult for them to put down the weapon of mass distraction. To say happy birthday. And they all pick them right back up again. That's what's going on with monkey mind when we don't question it. We stay wrapped up in busy, 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 fast, 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 more, more, more. And we miss having the relationship with flesh on that's in front of us. You want to enter into the teachings of what Facebook is all about? Turn around and face the person you're sitting with now and look at them. That's the Facebook exercise. With flesh on, another human being. We've lost the ability to interact with each other and to see each other for the true beings that we are. To look and to feel the body language of someone who shifts and moves so you can see them and be seen by them. There's some ancient culture that greets each other, and when they see each other, they say, I see you. I see you. Oh, I see you. What a great gift that is, to see and be seen by someone. And until we can see another with flesh on, we're not seeing the beloved God in ourselves at all. Because as you see one, you see the other. Because there's nothing else going on here but us looking at each other. He says it this way, so beautifully. I want to share this with you. It's in the book. It's on page, I think, 86. Take a look at this. He says it just poetically, actually. By emphasizing intellect over wisdom, efficiency over compassion, competitiveness over love, achievement over joy, we have created a breeding ground for personal agitation and interpersonal abrasiveness that has resulted in vastly increased levels of depression, social discord, and unhappiness. Agitation of mind and body represents the culmination of our journey away from God. It therefore has the potential to inspire our journey home. You wouldn't be here if you weren't ready for that. Little by little, we see individuals longing for freedom from agitation, longing for more happiness, contentment, and peace of mind. Our inner compass perpetually points us towards love, light, and awakening, and eventually that yearning for peace and clarity comes to the forefront of our consciousness, piercing the veil of our delusion and agitation. The agony of agitation becomes unbearable. We begin to yearn for awakening in a way that rapidly propels us towards our goal. He said in the beautiful words of the Bhagavad Gita, it's like Krishna, Lord Krishna, pulling on a bow. If you've ever done a bow, it takes a lot of strength to pull the bow back. And the target actually gets further and further away from you as you what? You pull the bow back and back, and finally, you pull as far away from the target as you can, and then you let it go, and it goes right to the target. It's the same thing with us. The very thing that has propelled us through our agitated state of mind to get away from the beloved is the very thing when we surrender and let go that moves us right back to it. You have the energy for it when you see what the purpose of your being here is for. We were sitting with Greg Tam on Tuesday morning. Wasn't Greg great, by the way? He's an amazing man. What a great evening we had with him. A beautiful being. And he was talking about the new love of his life. Her name is Houdini. Houdini is a dog, a 2-year-old stray female dog that he found that showed up in his yard one day. And you know why he called him Houdini? Master at breaking out. Breaking out all the time. And someone said, you know, you really need to get that dog contained. It's going to get run over. It's going to be taken by the pound. He's going, I'm doing all I can. Someone said, get a kennel for the dog. You know, try that. They're used to being in caves. Put Houdini in a kennel. 5 times put Houdini in a kennel. Wow! Howling. You know, the video of agitation. You know, your mind, your monkey mind. Oh! All I know is running somewhere else. Oh! And all of a sudden, it'd be quiet. You'd open the door, walk in the room. Houdini was gone. Out the window, out in the yard, looking for another place. Anybody? You know, sound like that? Oh, there's pleasure over there. And so finally what he did was, someone suggested he get a shock collar. Not a big jolt, not electrocution, just a little bit of a on the throat chakra. Ooh, the will of Allah. My will, not my will, but thine be done. Do you feel that? A little just to remind him. And he said it was really interesting. He took him outside, he took her outside, and said, Houdini, come. And of course, Houdini was ready to go off into the neighbor's yard. Right back around. Houdini came right back home. He said, I only needed to do it for 2 weeks, and I broke up the old habit pattern of the dog wanting to run away and be somewhere else. And he goes, now we have this co-creative partnership together. I'm the master, he's the dog, and he's got more freedom now than he ever had. Does this sound like anyone you know? This is us. This is always going for the agitated state to the waters of pleasure, and then in somebody else's yard, usually doing things we know we shouldn't be doing with somebody else, you know? Come back. The teachings, reminders, every week they come and they fill your church up. What do they want? Little cosmic reminders, little sparks. Come back, remember. So when you're hanging out in the yard of your life this week, I think this was last Sunday. That was yesterday. No, it was the service ago, an hour. Wow, time is going by fast. When you find yourself once again feeling, oh, you know, my life's just not right. I need something. I need to go buy something, find another maid. I need another technical device. I need a bigger one, a larger iPod or something. You find yourself going, I'm just going to get over that thing and wait a minute. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Where am I going? Why am I driving in this car? Why am I going off somewhere else? I'll deal with the agitation in my mind right here. When you find yourself trying to duck out into the fence, you know, I'm out of here. Wait a minute. No, come back. Don't mind the sparks. Come on back. Because you know who's waiting for you at the door? The beloved. God is saying, come on, come, please come, Houdini. Don't escape anymore. There's no running from yourself. Come back home. let me scratch your belly. I'll give you a nice meal. We'll have much more fun together than we will apart. That's your relationship to the beloved. Let's look at the lesson summation. I'll stop screaming. This is not the world of my making or even my choosing, but this is the world into which I was born to find God, bottom line, while you're here. Agitation of mind and body represents the culmination of our journey away from God. It therefore has the potential to what? Welcome us home. Remember to pull back. 2, there is no way to achieve happiness, peace of mind, and contentment that doesn't require the ability to be inactive and silent for extended periods of time. If we can't periodically tune out the outer world, it becomes difficult to attune ourselves to the subtleties of our inner world. Right? So when Houdini returns to her father's house, she's greeted with a big kiss and a nice scratch on the belly and saying, what took you so long to come back? So this week, your assignment, notice agitation in you when you're feeling agitated. And rather than acting on the agitation, to jump into the nether waters of pleasure by doing something you really don't need to do, or buying something you don't need, or saying something you wish you hadn't said, let the agitation be an invitation to come home and to face the beloved within you, who is both fire and water at the same time. Don't mind the sparks, friend. Listen to Fountainhead saying, I'm your way home. I am the truth, and you are that light. Enjoy your practice, not just for yourself, but for the benefit of all beings everywhere. Namaste.